My name is Reinier, Blijleven, and together with my wife and our 4 kids, we live here in this beautiful part of northern Italy. We often say this is where the Alps meet the Mediterranean climate and the Italian food and culture. And look at this, what an amazing spot to live here. We moved here almost 6 years ago, in May of 2018. The first place that we moved to was across the valley. It was up the mountains about 20-30 minutes. So sometimes that means that we had a commute of 4 hours per day because I would drive it back and forth a couple times. So it was not the most convenient, and we did feel that God was really speaking to us about moving to Arco. And so we started looking. We thought it was going to be just a few weeks that summer of 2018, and then by September we would find an apartment in the city so that the kids could go to school. We had already signed them up at school in the valley in the city of Arco, and we were looking for housing and we were looking for housing. We couldn't find anything, and that lasted, and it ended up lasting about 1.5 years. And the agreement was, once the house was going to be sold, once the apartment was going to be sold, that we would move out. September 2019 came around and the apartment was sold. So in that moment we realized God is doing something, because we had to move. So we started looking even more intensively, looking around, asking around. All of a sudden it became the talk of the town. Everybody was talking about the Dutch family with 4 kids that was looking for housing. And every time that happened we said, well, actually it's not just a Dutch family with 4 kids. We always have people living with us. We're building a team, we're pioneering a YWAM base, and we always have people living with us. We need much more space than that. A week went by and another week went by, and people said, what about this and what about that? And then people started asking us, but why don't you look 20 minutes that direction, 30 minutes that direction? But yet, every time we prayed about it, we felt that God said, this is where I'm calling you. And again, God confirmed that to us, and we really felt we need to be in Arco. This is where God is calling us. And some of our close friends then said, we have a van ready to move you, but where are you moving? And finally, the very last week came around, and it was Monday, and it was Tuesday, and it was Wednesday, and everyone was asking, where are you going to live next week? And there's something that we do in our family that we call family night. Every Friday night we have family night. We have a night to celebrate the week, to celebrate all that God is doing in our lives, but also to celebrate rest. And we have family night with our family, with our guests, with our team. And that family night, we decided to celebrate that God is a God of provision. We decided to celebrate that God has always provided a roof over our heads. So the day was over, the kids came home from school, we were starting our family night together, had a nice meal together, and they said, Dad, Mom, where are we going to live tomorrow? And I said, you know, honestly, we don't know that. Are we moving back to Amsterdam? We said, no, there is no back. But God is going to provide a place to live here in Arco. And that evening, as we were enjoying a family dinner together, we read the story of Moses in front of the Red Sea together. And as we read that story, we said, God provided a way through the Red Sea, and He's going to provide for us. And as we did that, we got a phone call from a friend from the valley, and she said, it sounded very urgent. She said, you have to go see Roberto Pincelli. And he's a man in his 80s, and he said he wants to talk to you about a place to live. So we went there quickly, and we talked to him, and we tried to explain who we are, what we are doing, and he said, oh, you are Dutch people. I used to own a hotel and my first guests were Dutch. I really love the Dutch people. I think I can provide a place for you to stay temporarily. And then we said, well, there's a few more details. It's not just our family, but we have a team that's living with us. And we always have guests that stay with us. So then he said, in that case, I will give you 2 apartments in the same building. And then we said, well, there's one more thing, and that is that we need a place tomorrow morning. And then he leaned over, reached for his drawer, and he handed us 2 sets of keys. And as he handed us those keys, we realized this is our Red Sea moment, that we were standing in front of something that seemed impossible, and everyone was asking us, are you going back? Are you going that direction? Are you going that direction? And God said, no, I'm opening up this Red Sea in front of you, and I will provide a way through. So we went back. I was there together with our team member, Kobus. We went back home and told the family, told our team, and we said, God has made a way, and He has provided a home for us once again. And that was one of those moments that will just mark you for life. And we still talk about it as a family, that we know that God will never leave us or forsake us, that we know that God always takes care of His children, that we know that God always provides for us because He is such a loving Father.